Alrighty, I believe the audio should be fixed now. Um, there we go. Ben, can we see? Do we have? Okay. I don't know if Ben's audio is there, but all right, hopefully that should work. We can just quickly go through it again. Welcome, everybody, to another weekly edition of Time Out Talks, which is brought to you by Chase and Throws Custom T-shirts and accessories, and is also sponsored by the Ice Shaker, the only bottle you will ever need. Go buy your custom Time Out Talks apparel via www.chaseandthrows.com, and you guys can purchase your Ice Shakers at www.iceshaker.com. I want to thank all of our viewers for tuning in through any stream, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Just wanted to start the show off by issuing our greatest hopes and prayers for Damar Hamlin. You know, what happened last night is something you never want to see ever happen on any field, any sports field. As a fan, as a player, as even a casual. And, you know, I just wanted to kick things off by sending my thoughts and prayers to the Hamlin family, the Buffalo Bills, and the entire NFL community.
Yeah, I'm going to echo those same sentiments, Josh, to Damar Hamlin's family and everyone involved in there, even the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, got to give it to that crowd. You know, staying patient with everybody and just enduring everything that went through because none of us have been through a situation like that. So, got to give props off to the Cincinnati Bengals and how they handle it, and the Buffalo Bills, just the coaching staffs, how they got together and ultimately ruled that that game should not have been played, which was the right decision. Sometimes the NFL doesn't make the right moral decisions. Most of the time they don't, but this one they hit. And thank God they did, because if they let them play last night, that would have been really bad luck. You could just tell nobody wanted that game to be played. Nobody could have played that game. Diggs was already had his pads off, you know, as soon as he got back in the locker room, already trying to check on him. Damar Hamlin in the hospital. So nobody was really thinking about the game at that point. So NFL made the right decision there. And we're just going to move forward with our thoughts and prayers for Damar Hamlin and his family. You know, Pittsburgh native Mike Tomlin sharing his sentiments as well with them. You know, we've always loved seeing him out there these past 2 seasons. We've got to play Buffalo the past couple seasons. So, you know, it hit home for him, and he expressed some good emotions and good messages from him earlier. So just want to echo all that. And, hopefully we can sort of figure this out as the weeks move forward, but just got to focus on the bigger issues of just figuring out Damar Hamlin and making sure he's all right.
100% Ben, and I know you kind of started things off by, you know, showing your respect for, you know, the crowd, the Bengals as well. I completely missed with that. Zach Taylor as well. And I even saw a couple tweets about this, and this is kind of what I was feeling like with the raw emotions of just watching it live. The broadcasting crew did a phenomenal job. I thought their privacy was pretty. Obviously, the Bills players did a good job of making sure that, you know, there was privacy during everything. But yeah, overall, I think everybody did a great job. The fans as well, staying. You know, I didn't really hear any bad takes on it. Especially, you know, if you're in the crowd, you're probably not knowing exactly what's happening in the moment. However, word does travel pretty quick through social media and phones, so I'm sure that they were able to kind of get a good gathering of what was going on. But yeah, to your point, just somebody who is a pillar in his community. Obviously, I know a lot of people have been talking on social media about the toy drives that he was able to create. I think that they are up to like over $3 million right now. I know he's a great family man. I know that that's kind of been a couple of the reports coming out as well. So again, yeah, as Ben mentioned, and kind of just echoing the sentiment of just hoping, praying that things are going to work out. And you know, that's kind of just, as Ben said, that's really all we can do. You know, it's best to put the game of football aside for the moment, and I think that was the right decision to do, Ben, was to suspend the game, cancel it. And I think even moving forward, I know the NFL announced this week they still have no plans of picking the game back up. I think that's the right call as well. And kind of, I know Ben was touching on this a little bit. Yeah, things are going to get a little tricky in terms of, you know, implications and schedules and stuff. But, you know, they're a $1 million corporation. They can figure it out. And as Ben mentioned, I think the life of Damar Hamlin is definitely more important than a singular game, no matter how high the implications of the game were. So, as Nelson came in here and said, horrible. Hope he's okay. Definitely was a freak accident. So, yeah, we were just wishing for the best.
Yeah, like Josh said, NFL makes a ton of money. They can't figure this stuff out. We just gotta figure out the more important stuff right now. We gotta figure out, a man's life, make sure he's, gonna make it through and make sure, we can put him in the best care that we can. NFL got plenty of guys over there that can figure this out. We got, plenty of time. We got those sort of I know there's a little span in between, the Super Bowl and the championship games and the Super Bowl. We can, move a game back. It's really not that big of a deal. Just got to figure out this first. And yeah, like we mentioned, Nelson, just a freak occurrence. You never really see something crazy like this. I mean, the closest sort of emotions that I felt was back on that Cincinnati Bengals field with the Ryan Shazier one, just sort of a freak accident. You just, you see those regular injuries, but you don't see a guy drop to the ground like those two did. And it's just kind of scary. Administering CPR into the field, never seen that either. So that was a scary first for everybody, but they got him off. The medical staff did a great job. Just like as Josh mentioned, too, privacy too, just making sure you got the most private care you can. It's obviously a football game, so you're going to see something. You got so many cameras, but they did the best they could with that and just get him out there in the safest manner. So hats off to them for that. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just I can't really put into words. It's just kind of sort of the only other memories I have was with this Ryan Shazier injury, just sort of the magnitude of that. So hopefully you can get all right, and we're just going to continue to do give our thoughts and prayers with the family.
For sure, Ben. Nelson coming in. Actually, quick, we'll get to Nick's comment here. It's now over $5 million for his charity. That is amazing. I mean, just a day, it's catapulted. I know numbers have been kind of like thrown out with how much it was at, prior to this, but yeah, it's definitely glad to see, just the NFL community and even more than the NFL community pouring their, love into this situation and just like you said, Ben, hoping for the best. The trickiest part of this whole thing, and later in the show, we're obviously going to get to some of our predictions for the NFL games, as if they probably will definitely still take place this game later on this week. The other games, Patriots, Bills, are scheduled to play as of now. We'll get to that a little bit later. But Nelson Canero coming in with a great question. Kind of wanted to take your thoughts on this too as well, Ben. He's saying, do they move all the games back now? What's a possible scenario? I know you were kind of touching up on this, and I know James had mentioned, he was talking to me about it as well, just being able to just kind of push everything back a week. My thought, Ben, and let me know what you think, is I'm assuming they would continue all the games this week, just leave it normal. Like the games that happen this week are the games that happen this week. And I think that they would hold a little bit more concern for the Bills-Patriots game in terms of like the players and stuff. I don't know like the situation of them being ready to play that game, but I think the rest of the games I'm assuming would probably be slated to go, and then maybe the Bills-Bengals game somehow gets moved back, and like you said, like every game gets moved back kind of like a week or something. Like I don't know how they would do it. I know people have pondered with a tie. I know that there's stupid things out there saying that the Patriots would get in because it would just be a double forfeit. I doubt that they're going to do that. I mean, that's just completely insensitive. I don't know why people are spreading that. I'd be stunned if they did that. But my best guess, my educated guess would be, just keep these games for this week. Even the games that they scheduled for this week was on a week-to-week basis. They didn't have any of the times set. Like for week 18, even before the incident. So I would assume that they would just go through with these games and then find somewhere to flex in that Bengals-Bills game if that's still picked up and played because of the playoff scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, like Josh mentioned, it gets a little tricky. It gets a little tricky here, but I mean, to be honest, we could probably just get rid of the Pro Bowl. Nobody really needs that Pro Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
There's sort of that, kind of joking right now, but sort of being half serious as well. It's just nobody really cares for the Pro Bowl anymore, kind of lost that lust. I think it was supposed to be sort of flag football too. I know sort of, as we mentioned, Jimmy has thrown that one in there, idea, just move it back a week, probably eliminate that week just to, have that as a championship week, and then have week 18 after this one. Just keep next week as planned, and then just squeeze that Bengals Bills into that after week. Um, I would like that one. It wouldn't, it's a little confusing right now. It's a little tough to tell. We just gotta see what the plan is, with this Bills Bengals stuff game, because as Nelson mentions, with home field advantage, what does that happen now? There's a lot of implications. Because of this Patriots Bills game next week too, Steelers playoff chances, Dolphins playoff chances. So I mean, this Bills Bengals game is pretty important just for seeding and just to determine all this stuff. So we got to get this game in, a timely order, timely fashion, just sort of get all that stuff in there. I wouldn't mind just moving it back a week, having this regular week, and then playing it after that week, and then sort of just pushing the playoffs a week back. Maybe just get rid of that Pro Bowl. Just save everybody some time and effort with that. I'd like that move. So, and I just really see that as the only option. I don't really see them trying to jam this game in anywhere else. It's just kind of too quick of a turnaround right now. Because people are, we still got to wonder about the Bills players. Are they going to be ready for this week, going up against the Patriots? So, Josh had mentioned that point a little earlier. We just kind of factor that one into this week as well. So, I would be in favor of just moving everything back a week to just try to squeeze this one in there.
I think that's probably the best bet moving forward. Now you're saying that they obviously the Pro Bowl week there would still just be an extra week, like for instance, like after the NFC Championship they usually have the Pro Bowl week. They give like their they give the Super Bowl championship teams a week, and then they would play. Yeah. Are you saying that they would just play the AFC Championship game and then the next week would be the Super Bowl, or it would still just be as planned but no Pro Bowl?
Yeah, I'd say probably just no Pro Bowl. Maybe just give them.
Yeah.
I think there's that media availability week 2, or maybe just have that media week in there. So just get rid of that Pro Bowl week. Just sort of slot that week. Just what week 17 matchup game for the Bills Bengals in there. So it's still, like I said, it's just a little confusing with the schedule. I got to look at it a little closer, see if we can fit it in a little better time or a little better day. So. But that'd be my plan right now, as of right now.
I agree. I think it's just easier than like issuing wins and losses and both teams will win. Like it gets kind of weird with that. I know me and Jared were watching the game yesterday together. We were kind of talking out different scenarios and stuff like that. Obviously not in the moment, but like after, it's just there was kind of a lot on the line before that incident had happened. So. And Nelson coming in here. One thing for sure, the NFL is spinning their heads right now trying to figure something out. They have no clue. Goodell is out of his mind right now. I think that there's a lot of issues right now the NFL is trying to figure out. I think, from a PR standpoint, some people looked at it as kind of a mess last night in terms of how they handled it and how the players were going to get ready to go back on the field. Obviously, aside from that, as me and Ben have been talking about, and kind of the question you had imposed, Nelson, was how that would work in terms of rescheduling. So they've got a lot in their hands. I think that they should figure it out. Maybe I'm gonna assume by like Thursday or something they'll announce something or something like that. They usually do, as Booger McFarland mentioned, they work in a timely manner. So they'll figure something out. Definitely, I would assume within my gut feeling is something by Thursday they'll have that figured out, or even in a week or so once they get the whole situation even more figured out. But yeah, just a terrible scene, and timeout talks, me, Ben, and I think the whole NFL community is just kind of rallying behind Damar Hamlin. So yeah.
Yeah, just I think it really just sort of sums it up right there, Josh. So I think everybody kind of forgot about the game, and you've seen everybody tweet in, just sort of rally around Damar and sort of forget about this game, which they should. And like we've been saying, let's just figure out this situation, and then we can figure out this other schedule stuff going forward, because it is a little tricky. We gotta look at it a little further down the line, but. I'm just gonna worry about his health going forward, and first and foremost. because that was one of the scariest things I had ever seen out there in the NFL. So you just gotta try to get this, try to just watch him, take care of him, and then worry about the rest after Josh, I believe.
For sure, for sure. And Marianne, closing comments here. We'll move forward to, a little bit more of an upbeat story with the Winter Classic. We'll get into that, and as we mentioned, we will give our predictions for the NFL and stuff like that a little bit later. Maybe dive a little bit into the seeding scenarios, in the NFC. Talk about maybe even some potential matchups, what we think. Just get a little bit more into the playoffs, and a nice little prediction that James had last week, and I know Ben had talked about that. It's looking like the Green Bay Packers, they control their destiny, ladies and gentlemen. And I know Ben and James were kind of playing around with the fact that watch out for that team. So just throwing that one out there. But Marianne coming in here, both teams handled it well considering the circumstances. Couldn't agree with that anymore. Even after the fact, too, I think some players stayed within Cincinnati. Some players went home to their families. I just think overall tremendous job done by both coaches. World class. Acts by both of those coaches, especially as Denise mentions in her next comment here. And I think this is true. This is kind of what me and Ben were touching up on too. They will more than likely try to play this game as soon as they can. It's uncharted territory, but there are rules around even considering the human impact. I think that is very perfectly worded. It is uncharted territory. The human impact of it has impacted the game not happening. But I agree with that 100%. It's by far, to Nelson's next comment too, one of the scariest things I've ever witnessed. I've seen some gruesome injuries, but I think this one was more, the uncertainty of it is definitely scary, and just moving forward, seeing how things work. But yeah, that's kind of, I just like I said, I hope everything can be resolved, and just sending my hopes and prayers to the Hamlin family.
Yeah, and Nelson just brought up another great point. I mean, this is going to take a big part into everyone's sort of mentality about how they go about playing in the NFL. I know Dan Orlovsky said, I heard him talking to NFL Live earlier, just, you got to go in there playing with no fear, but, nobody ever expect to get sort of injury like this or get hurt like this. But, because once you start playing with a little fear, they say, that's when you're going to get the most injuries. But now it's kind of hard for me to not wonder if these players are going to have it in the back of their minds. I mean, you can't fault them if they do. This was just something that we've never seen. So it's just another one for the NFL to just have to try and tackle and try to just sort of get ahead of, and try to sort of just put their players in the best positions have healthy and prolonged careers, because this one definitely was scary. And yeah, I think this is definitely going to have an impact on players going forward. We're already seeing a decrease in players and participation. So unfortunately, I think it's going to be along the same lines as that, Josh. So a little tough to see, but I think ultimately people know what you're signing up for. Know you're going to, know this is a dangerous game, and know that obviously these extremes don't happen, but injuries do happen. I do think it will take ultimately an impact on some of these players' mentality going forward.
Percent, and definitely the players on the field. I think of guys like T. Higgins, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. But I couldn't agree with you any more, Ben, on that. It's one of those things that, it's, to Denise's point, it's just uncharted territory, and hopefully moving forward, which I think that they will. I know there's a lot of there's a huge microphone glass right now, and there's a huge scope on everything and how everything's going to be handled. But I think that things should be handled in a good manner, and moving forward, everything should work out. It's just a tough scene to watch last night. Moving forward, talking Bruins here. I know it's definitely a drastic change, but the Bruins, they had a Winter Classic in Boston yesterday. Quite the thriller. 2-1 victory. Ullmark just absolutely played phenomenal. Shout out to the Penguins' second string goalie, excuse me. He came in last night, yesterday, on short notice, came in, did a good job. But overall, Ben, great performance by the Bruins. I like what I'm seeing here. And again, I think it all comes down to the dual goalies. We've been able to see Swayman and Olmark play very well. I can't, DeBrusk has been on fire. And as me and you have mentioned before, this is somebody who are ready to just drive to the airport. Huge win last night, and I'm gonna leave it with this before I turn it over to you. And this is coming from who I think is the greatest hockey player of all time. It's undisputed in my opinion. This is coming straight from Wayne Gretzky. He mentioned this when asked about the Bruins and then moving forward and what he thinks. He said championship teams similar to, and he kept it in, he kept it relevant in terms of the teams that he compared the Bruins to. And he mentioned the Tampa Bay Lightning. He said teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning of last year, teams like the Bruins of this year, those are championship teams because they can come back down 1-0 and be able to squeak out a win. Whether they end up winning 1-0 by 1 goal, by 2 goals, however they win, it was a comeback win. It was a huge win against a very good team and in a huge game, the Winter Classic. So I couldn't agree with Wayne Gretzky anymore. I thought, just watching that game last night, they fought through the adversity, had a very rough second. I believe the second period was pretty rough at times. Then they were able to kind of rally around in that third period. Late towards the second period, we're able to kind of get some boosts in there. And, I'm just going to leave it with that. Wayne Gretzky saying that's what championship teams do. They fight back. That was a huge, nice fought win there for the Bruins, Ben. And I like it a lot. So shout out to the Bees. And DeBrusk. I mean, this guy, we were writing him off, but hey, I guess we'll give Rob that. Ever since Rob, the timing is very close for when Rob talked to him on the Snap. Well, actually, I shouldn't put the air quotes. He did talk to him. It's on Snapchat. He was driving out of the building. He said Jake DeBrusk, like in the video, he said like don't leave or something, or hey, what's up? Then he put the caption like don't leave. And ever since then, Jake DeBrusk has been a lot happier. It has been very good. So he's kind of been, I don't want to say the unsung hero, because I do think like guys like Marchand, Pasternak, they get a lot of attention, but Jake DeBrusk last night, and Taylor Hall, my boy, getting the apple. But yeah, loving what I'm seeing out of the Bruins, Ben.
Love Taylor Hall. A little shout out right there at the end. You got to give a little love to Taylor Hall right there. Great line changes from Montgomery last night, sort of putting those guys together. I believe it was Hall, Krejci, and DeBrusk. So great call by him. Just those guys just look so explosive out there. And you're just really seeing what Krejci does to this team, just boosting that second line and just, you're able to put them on the third and just put them anywhere basically, and just make anybody on that line better. So love seeing Krejci, back over here. It's not going to be forever, obviously. It's just a 1-year thing, but you just got to soak it in while he can. Just love to see him over here. Love the jerseys last night too. The jerseys were great. Just the vibes from Fenway Park. Love seeing it out there. But yeah, I mean, hey, make the boss holding me to my word. Yeah, I do remember when I said that. I mean, we all said it, but it was a pretty tough time for DeBrusk. But yeah, I mean, 2 goals, as Josh alluded to, and he hit the post in the first. We kind of dominated that first, and then kind of let them put it off the gas a little in that second. And like Josh mentioned, I mean, going down 1-0, are we one of these teams that fold up and just go home? But we didn't, so we picked it up in the third. Love to see that. Shout out to Gretzky too on that one. I love Josh bringing that up too. If you ever can get Gretzky on your side, it's never a bad thing. So love that too. But yeah, it was just a great all around event and performance from the Bruins last night. Hats off. It was a little close buzzer beater almost from Malkin, but he didn't get it off. He didn't get it off over there. We played, we just, everybody was playing their hearts out at the end, just diving for everything, just trying to block that shot. That's just what I love to see from that last sort of effort right there, just trying to stop and just the madness that ensued. And, it did go in, but, didn't beat the buzzer. So celebrate the win. Let's keep it moving forward. And just, yeah, to be honest, I was really impressed with Jim Montgomery too. Listen, I don't really never played hockey, so don't know the X's and O's, but you listen to those people that know the X's and O's, and they're really just praising his performance so far and in this game especially. So, I just gotta give him a shout out for that. Because another guy I was down to him a little. We were Bruce Cassidy guys over here, but he's really just proven his worth over here. So I just want to give him a shout out for that. And of course, we always Me and Josh always gotta give a shout out to DeBrusque. Sorry about those airport comments. He could stay. He could stay for a while with us. We're just seeing that explosion. So I'm excited, Josh, for the Bruins going forward.
100%, Ben. Um, I think one point that I have to just, I want to get a quick Celtics take in here before we move over to the NFL later in the show. But one point, we've got a Vesna. We've got a Vesna trophy winner potential on our team, and it would just be unanimous. Linus Ullmark. I mean, Ben, I know I was talking to you about how great he's been, and we kind of harped last year. We threw him a lot of money on a 2-year deal. We were kind of like, what the hell? Like, they got Swayman. Like, why are they going all in on this guy? He had an off year last year. Didn't really look too right. Despite the Bruins' success, they were pretty successul last year, even though we made it to the playoffs, to say the least. But right now, I seen a graphic pop up on the screen, and in the moment, I was like, there is no way that he is 21-1-1. Like, there's no way that's true. And he's literally averaging 1.86 goals allowed. So that's like less than 2 goals a game. Like a pretty good amount less than 2. It's not like it's 1.99. It's like he's under 2 goals a game, 0.939 save percentage. Like, this guy has been unbelievable. I even had to double check today to see. Like, I was like, there's no way that he's 21-1-1. Like, a graphic went wrong or something. No, it is 100% true. This guy has been worth the money in more. And I think one of the biggest things to this, Ben, is having Lindholm finally being able to gel here with the defense. You've got Carlo killing it, and you've got Charlie McAvoy back. I really, really think here, finally having a competent defense, I know this has been something Zach's harped on for a while, and having Lindholm, who had a whole training camp, a whole offseason to kind of figure it out. I know it's not like an NFL playbook where it's like super, super hard to figure out, and it's, this crazy like Jedi mind trick thing. But I really think it's important that he kind of had that year last year, and now he's finally figured out what it's like to be a Bruin and to be on defense, because he took a huge, huge role here for the Bruins. And I think that is a huge... I don't want to take anything away from Ullmark, but I think that is a huge, huge part of why Ullmark's been really good, having a very good defense. It's like a quarterback. You gotta respect your offensive line as well, and I think that's kind of what's happening here with the Bruins. And just shout out to Ullmark, 21-1-1. Just that's unbelievable, Ben. Right now it'd be unanimous for the Vesna. So I think that's a huge part to just seeing the success for the Bruins.
Yeah, that's insane. I had no clue. And that just says something about it right here. Just doing it silently, quietly, without anyone giving him any too much praise. But that's just that's just a crazy stat line. Definitely top guy for a Vesna. You saw it with our deep brother runs, with Tuukka, the Tim Thomases. We've got those elite goalies, and when we have somebody like that, we can see this team making a lead run and just having that defense in front of them. Just those guys just playing solid out there. As we mentioned, the Lindholm, just easing McAvoy back into it. That's just been a huge help, and now we're seeing McAvoy finally fully healthy and ready to go. So, we're just deep, Josh. They're a deep team now. This team's just playing together. You're not seeing sort of that age that sort of affected us last season. At least, for a prediction, I don't think it's going to hinder us like it did last season. We're seeing guys still fresh right now. We're not having just to rely on that, first line, that, the perfection line. And, we don't have to rely on those guys. The defenses are going to get just tired at the end of the year, and we're actually going to have to be rotating bodies in and out. We're deep over there. Great Carlos, been playing great over there. It's a silent guy that, once he's playing well, doesn't get too much credit, but, if he's playing well, it just provides that depth that we need to make a deep run. So I'm loving this team right now. I'm loving how we're playing. Just everything about it. So hopefully we can keep it like this. I want to keep seeing Taylor Hall play like that. I want to keep seeing the explosiveness just throughout every single line over there. We've got the depth that we just haven't had over these past couple of years, Josh. Last recent years, I should say. So I'm excited about that. I know we mentioned the last run for a couple of guys, probably Krejci Bergeron. So we're making the most of it. And we're seeing, just what those guys have brought over the years to us, and how they have shaped this Bruins team, built this culture. So paying off. It's paying off in this final one, and we're going to see hopefully continue for a long playoff run, Josh. Long.
I hope so, Ben. 20 your Bruins 28-4 right now, first in the Atlantic Division, first in the NHL. Their next 5 games, their nice little stretch here. They got the Kings. They're going to away to play the Kings, at the Sharks, at the Ducks. They come back home for the Kraken and Maple Leafs in their next 5 game stretch here. That Maple Leafs one will be a very interesting game, especially you want to get that win last time that we lost. Want to avenge ourselves. But yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the Bruins, Ben. Both Boston teams have been pretty good. But yeah, I couldn't agree with you anymore, Ben. I think it's just continue to keep it going. Loving what I'm seeing out of Jim Montgomery. Love what I'm seeing out of the goaltending, defense, and Taylor Hall on your third line. I think that kind of just wraps up your point to the fact that there's depth. And speaking of depth, we're staying in Boston. We'll stay with the Celtics. We were able to go out. We got added some more depth. We got Malcolm Brogdon. We got Sam Hauser, who's been a pretty good shooter for us. Still got guys like Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, my favorite, of course. Interesting little spot here for the Celtics. I know they got a game against the Thunder tonight on the road. No Shea Gilgeous, Alexander Shai. I've been told it's Shea Gilgeous. They just dropped a nice game to the number 1 seed in the West, to the Nuggets, who have been unbelievable. Jokic, another triple-double. It's getting to the point. Me and Dylan were talking about this where, even the coach is just saying, like, yeah, we're going to give Aaron Gordon the game ball because his defense was good. We can't just give you the game ball every night because this is what you do on a night-in basis. Back-to-back MVP player. I'm not too concerned about that, Ben. We're shooting for the stars right now. 26-11. Hovering around the Nets, who have taken this surge, the Bucks, Cavs, even the 76ers, all kind of in close range, 3.5 games back. Ben, right now, is there anything that concerns you about the Boston Celtics moving forward?
Josh, to be honest, not really. We've got the superstars. Sam Hauser. This guy's coming out of nowhere. I didn't know he could shoot like this. Hey, she mentioned no Shy. All right, no SGA. So definitely got to win this one for the Celtics. Win it handily. But I don't think I really see any weaknesses right now. As you mentioned, them Nuggets team, number 1 in the West, Jokic, 30, 12, and 12. This guy, we can't really stop a big man like that. We've seen our problems with Embiid, and Jokic just. He's on another level right now than Embiid. He's just, like I said, back-to-back MVPs. This guy just does everything for them. We just don't have an answer right now for the big man. So Rob's still coming back into fold. I just want to work him in a little, easier. A little, we don't want to kill him right now. Just put him into, risk that injury right now. Because I think, like I said, we got the depth. We've got these other guys performing. We can save Rob for the playoffs and sort of just ease him back, get that full workload more around that time of the year. Because it's looking like we got control. I think we got a decent grip of the East right now. I'm really not too scared of anybody. We got over those Cavs hiccups. Graham Williams is playing his thing. I love Graham Williams. I always got to give him a shout out. And Marcus Smart's, controlling it, but still just sort of giving it to the superstars as well. Giving it to Brown, Tatum, and not just getting a little over his head. He's still limiting himself. He's not shooting 10 threes per game like he used to, and just missing pretty much all of them except 1 or 2. He's doing his thing. So I'm not really, just like the Bruins, Josh. I'm kind of all in on the Celtics. Nobody in the East really too scares me too much. I think, we got that Bucks issue under control with Giannis. We know how to play him. Al's just come back to life. Loves what I'm seeing from Al. Nobody in the East really scares me too much. 76ers are having their own problems. So I don't want to, sound like too much of a green teamer, Josh, but I don't see any problems with the Celtics team. I'm not ready. I'm not fully Bruins mode on them yet, but I'm getting pretty close to getting that same feeling, Josh.
and that's normal. Celtics are 26-10 right now, coming off that championship run last year. The next 5 games on the road against the Thunder, on the road against the Mavs, on the road against the Spurs. Then they come home, excuse me, for a 2-game home stretch against the Bulls, Pelicans, who have been very good. Shout out to Zach. So hopefully, I'd like to see, a nice 3-2, 4-1 in the next 5 games here for the Celtics. Continue to hold that number 1 seed. And as to Charlie's point, top of the East is tough with the C's, Bucks, Nets, and Cavs. Couldn't agree with that anymore. I know the Cavs have kind of dominated the Celtics. We've got a nice game featuring later. I think that's February 1st. I'm actually going to that game. Celtics, Nets. That'll be a big one. But yeah, let's see what the Celtics can do in their next 5 games there, Ben. And hopefully by the time the next time we speak, maybe we'll be pushing closer towards Bruins mode for the Celtics. Both teams in Boston have just been unbelievable right now to this moment.
Yeah, I can't ask for anything more, Josh. Just love seeing what I'm seeing for Jaylen Brown too. Gotta always give him a shout out. Everyone gives Tatum that shine. Gotta give it to Brown as well. This team, just loving what I'm seeing. Just keep it going. Just keep it going. Like I said, don't need to kill Rob right now. Let's just ease him back into it. I just want to keep emphasizing that because he's going to be a huge part going down the line. We saw it when he wasn't there. We see him when he's not there. When he's there. So big differences there. Just want to get him healthy, ready to go for when we need him the most. So I'm excited for everything Boston right now, Josh. Even though the Patriots are looking all right too.
100%, and we're going to move things over towards the NFL. We had a couple interesting games this past week. We had a couple more teams clinch. Looking at, nobody has clinched yet, or no different clinches yet for the AFC. Still got the 6th and the 7th seed up for, or the 4th and the 7th seed, up for grab. That huge clash between the Jaguars and Titans that should be coming up this Saturday. We got the Patriots. Right now, they are the 7th seed locked in. They got that nice win over the Dolphins. On the NFC side of things, it's getting real interesting. Also, another little battle here for that 7th seed. We saw the Bucks again. Tom Brady was able to kind of emerge at the end of the game. They clinched their division at 8-8. We saw the Giants. Brian Daboll in his first season, 9-6-1 Giants. 3rd in the NFC East, got into the playoffs. We saw teams like Washington get eliminated. The Raiders got eliminated. The Steelers are still fighting. The Packers are still fighting. The Seahawks are still fighting. The Lions are still fighting. And, of course, as I mentioned, the Titans have a chance to control their own destiny with a win, I'm pretty sure, over the Titans. That's a win-and-in situation there. Just a lot of different scenarios going on right now, Ben. Before we get to some of our predictions, I think we've got to talk about this fact. In a game that, I kind of want to see what you think before we get to our predictions of our other games. The 7th seed in the NFC, how do you think that shakes out? Did the Seahawks get in? The Lions get in? I'm pretty sure the Packers control their own destiny. If they win, they're in. The Lions need to get in with a win and the Seahawks loss. And the Seahawks, I believe they get in with their win, and they would need a Packers loss. But Ben, what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on the Jags, Titans? You can go quick before we get to our predictions.
Yeah, Charlie wants to give my Sacco acceptance speech as well. That is just our fantasy football. I did finish last place in that, unfortunately. Rough year. Thanks, Justin Herbert and David Montgomery, Cam Akers. I'm not going to go any further. It's whatever. It was a tough year. You can't win them all. You got to let other people win. So we'll end on that. But that other one, we've got the Packers Lions going up against each other, Josh. So that one's in Green Bay. The Seahawks Rams. Packers, like you said, control their destiny. If they win, they're in. Pretty simple as that. I think it's just going to be the Packers, Josh. As we were mentioning, I think it was just they needed that win last week. Just pummeled the Vikings. That was a pretty tough one for the Vikings to watch. Really sort of opened their eyes, and they lost their starting right tackle too. So not good for the Vikings heading into this postseason. But the Packers completely opposite. They're rolling. Got embarrassed by the Lions last time. Granted, it was in Detroit, but still, the Lions never really embarrassed the Packers like that. They just killed them last time. I don't even think the Packers scored a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers is going to remember that one. They're winning this one. Sorry, Seahawks. It was a good story. Good. You still end up with a good pick from the Broncos. You're still going to be able to build off this great season, but unfortunately, I still think they win against the Rams, but just the Packers with that win just ultimately, supersedes them. They get in. So I think the Packers just get in here, Josh, with that 7th seed, and they're probably going to be obviously the better, the most dangerous 7th seed out of the two. No offense to Steelers, Dolphins, or Pats. All coming in a little. Dolphins coming in injured. Pats and Steelers. Not the most offensive juggernauts, as I can say. So, but Packers. Looking dangerous over there. The Vikings should be scared. If they see the Packers again, could possibly see them again in this playoffs. Or whoever that 2 seed, I'd be scared of that Aaron Rodgers team.
% Ben. It's very interesting. I want to see what happens. I'd be afraid of that team as well. I know James was kind of pushing for them last week. Not pushing for them, but he was saying that's a team to watch out for. Let's get into our predictions. We're going to start off with what should be a 1 o'clock game, the Patriots and the Bills. If this game was to be played, you've got the 8-8 Patriots. Their season's on the line. They win. They're in. They're traveling to Buffalo to play the 12-3 Buffalo Bills. I'm going to keep this very short and sweet. If this game is played, I'm throwing all my chips in on the Bills winning this one. They're at home. Emotions are high. And I think that this is my lock of the week as well. If this game is to be played, I see 40 points being put up for the Bills. I see like a 14-20 or a 14-17, just absolute blowout. I don't think the Patriots can compete with them. I don't like what I've seen from the Patriots. I've just seen a lot of their defense kind of carry. And last time we saw these two teams play, their defense could not do much of anything beside from that Marcus Jones play. And he wasn't even on defense for that. He was on offense. I'm sorry, New England Patriots, but you caught a tough Week 18 matchup. And this is going to be one of those first times that, you kind of can put the blame on Bill Belichick for being under 500, but this is my lock of the week. The Buffalo Bills get the job done at home.
I'm going different, Josh. I'm taking the Patriots. A little shocker. I think they're just going to
Wow.
Bills. Yeah, just more on the Bills' minds right now. I think their playoff chances are secured. Obviously, they are secured. But, I think they're just the minds are obviously in different, areas right now, thinking of different things more important than the game. Not going to say that's totally to the detriment. They're humans, but I think the Patriots are just have more at stake, and they're just going to value this game a little more. Like I said, the Bills already sort of they're already in the playoffs. Seeding still a little confusing. We just with this Bills Bengals game, still going to figure out that for the seeding, but I think they're going to be pretty much secure in this. I think Bill's going to get this team ready. Unfortunately, listen, I don't want this result. Trust me. Ever since I've been pretty flip floppy with the Steelers because they've been pretty flip floppy this season. 1 week they're great, 1 week they just stink the bed. And they just can't show up. So, but we're at this point now. We finally dragged ourselves back into it. So I'd like to see a little win for us, but the Patriots just are going to unfortunately ruin the parade. I see them winning this week in Buffalo. It's going to be a tough one, Josh. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. I just got a feeling. I think they're going to pull this one out.
I like it. Hey, if you're a Patriots fan, you like that. Nick DeVos, no way the Bills lose this game. He doesn't agree with that. 12-4 Dallas going into Washington, Carson Wentz, 3 interceptions there. 7-8 one in Commanders, who announced their new mascot as the pig. Just another
that was a good one.
Thing. That's it. Yeah, they're in week 17. Peter Schrager was even like, "What the heck? Week 17, you announce it? Interesting, whatever, to say the least." I think Dallas should get this job done. They are very motivated, especially with a chance for that number 1 seed if the 49ers were to lose. However, I had this thought. I know everybody's been like, if the Cowboys do win, Um, what were they saying? If the Cowboys do win, they're jumping all the way up to the second seed. I believe that they would go to the third seed, even if the 49ers were to win. Oh, I see. Because the 49, never mind. If the Eagles would lose, they would jump out. So then it would be a Cowboys and Packers matchup if they would have the two. Whatever. I think Dallas wins this game. Ignore my whole little rant there. I think that they get it done. Close game, though. I think if you look at last year, Dallas, they struggled a little bit against Washington. It's a tough place to play at. I think the smart option here, if you're a Washington Commanders fan, if you're a Washington Commanders coach, Ron Rivera, anyone in the community, start Taylor Heineke. I've been saying this from the beginning. I know they had their hiccups. He's clearly the better option than Carson Wentz. Washed goods, used goods. I like Dallas in this 31-27 close game. Or not that high. I'll say like 27-23. Close game. Dallas holds on with a win. Micah Parsons sack in the end. I don't know.
I definitely could see that. Been seeing Carson Wentz get sacked a lot the past couple of weeks. Gotta agree with Josh on that one too. I don't know what they're doing. They just gotta roll with Heineke. He got you to this point. I don't know why Carson Wentz is back in there. I know he's injured. You gotta give him, I guess, his starting job back. But I mean, Heineke had done a much better job from what we already saw Wentz, and Wentz just kind of proved it again. So unfortunately, I think that Wentz magic is over. It's probably just gonna be a backup now. It kind of stinks for him, but he's just too injured. It's just not his fault. It's just can't. He's just not the same Carson Wentz we saw. Before that big injury in Philly, he was leading them to 13-1 season. But Washington, tough one. We had a close run. Another close run team eliminated from playoff contention. So that's why I think Dallas just cleans them up. I think they easily take this win. Dallas getting their minds back, skip this W. I know they always play Commanders tough, always plays a little gritty rivalry, but I think unfortunately just after that beatdown for the Browns, well, not really beat down. The Commanders came back in the end, but the majority of that game was a beatdown from the Browns. Commanders kind of made it close at the end, scoreboard wise, just stat wise. I think the Cowboys control this one. I'll second that Micah Parsons sack. I think he's going to get a couple of sacks in this game. I got the Cowboys easily cruising this one. I'll do like 30-13. Easy money.
38?
30.
Oh, 30-13. I like that.
It could be 38-30. It could be 38 too. We'll see if Pollard can keep it up.
I'd love a nice, comfortable win. So there's that. Cowboys, Commanders. We're going to move forward here. 7-9. Cleveland Browns traveling into Pittsburgh for a very possibility of the Steelers maybe making a playoff push here. And I don't want this to go unnoticed. Mike Tomlin, who has never had a losing record during his 15 seasons as a head coach. It is the longest ever streak in the NFL. He has the chance to go 9-8, stay above that losing streak. Just pretty great to think about. I think it's going to continue. You saw Kenny Pickett at the end of the game making a crazy play. Kind of that weird flash we've been waiting for him. I thought he's done a very good job within the last handful of games. I like what I'm seeing out of the Steelers. I still think the Deshaun Watson, it just looks uncomfortable. It wasn't really ready. I still feel like the offense moved better with Jacoby Brissett. A lot of low-scoring games here for the Browns. They're just not going to get the job done. TJ Watt and the boys are going to be fired up. I could see it being kind of close because that's what the Steelers do. They're not like a crazy, light it up the stat sheet, light up the scoreboard. They get wins when they have to, and they get wins when they need to do it in close games. I'll say they win this one 23-16 or 23-14 in kind of a weird, wonky game. Maybe even more low scoring than that. And that's not a knock on the Steelers, just divisional game, rivalry game. Sean Watson is on the field. Mari Cooper as well. I think the Steelers get the job done though. They go 9-8. Mike Tomlin keeps his win streak alive and his losing streak alive. And I worded that wrong, but he keeps his not having a losing record.
Non-losing.
alive. Yeah, non-losing
record.
record.
You got it right.
Excuse me. But yeah, Steelers
You got it
win.
right. Hey, I appreciate that, Josh. Let's go. I'm gonna go Steelers win too. I mean, like it's the Cleveland is just another team that's just kind of in disarray right now, similar to the Commanders. Just I mean, Deshaun Watson just needs more time with that offense. Just throw him in right now. Clearly, you just saw the effect of not playing an NFL game for so long, and who knows if that's going to work, as well as they thought it would. So they got a whole offseason to figure it out. But yeah, that offense just has not clicked. Jacoby just had that offense, I think, a little better. I think they probably should have just stuck with him, end the season out. I know they had somewhat of a shot, but did they really? So I think they should have just stuck with Jacoby. That offense seemed to move a little better. That run game was clicking a little more. Him and Amari had a nice couple catches, even though Amari turned it on this past game, but he just hasn't looked the same since Deshaun sort of took the helms. And David Njoku went away too. Listen, they shouldn't. Listen, now they can't lose. Now they don't. Now they shouldn't lose for that one. Listen,
Times have changed.
Yeah, times have changed. Listen, I didn't know they would actually start winning. Some of these games. You gotta give it to Kenny. 2 game-winning drives. These past 2 games. We're seeing them turn it on. Maybe if he played that Jets game to begin with, maybe we probably would have had some different results. I would maybe change my stance on some of those ones, Josh, right now. Maybe we should have had him starting a little sooner. Mitch was just a disaster. Mitch stinks. Sorry, Mitch Trubisky, but he just was just awful. So probably should have started Kenny a little sooner, but hey, what's done is done. So let's just try to win this game. I think we get this win. Sort of wrap it up on that one. Just the Browns are just in a tough spot right now, Josh, and I think just being especially at home for Pittsburgh and always we're gonna end this one for Tomlin. Gonna keep that winning season streak alive, and hopefully I'm wrong about the Patriots. Hopefully we can sneak that one in, but we also got to worry about the Dolphins and Jets, and I don't know if the Jets can return the favor. So, as much as the Bills can, the Jets kind of looked a little rough this past week. Mike White getting a little exposed by Seattle, but it's a tough place to play in. 12th man over there. So, got to come a little slack for that, but not making me the most confident in himself in the Jets, Josh, this week. So, a little tough one, but I know the Steelers got this one.
I agree with you on that one, Ben. They've been playing a lot better football. My upset of the week. Now, I think that there's going to be, this team has already locked up their seed. They just did this week. They're in no matter what. They won their division. I got the Falcons possibly upsetting the Bucs this week. I think that it's a real possibility here. Even if Brady does play, you've seen him struggle on the road. I know they were able to kind of eke it out last week, and it just seems like every week they eke it out. The Falcons are kind of playing for nothing here. They're just playing for moral victories here. They're in a weird spot for the draft pick. They're probably still going to get a top 10 draft pick. I like them to maybe win this game, pull it out. Who knows how long they keep the starters in if you're the Bucs. You have nothing to... You cannot move at all. You've taken the 4 seed. You're not going to jump up to the... you can't go down... You can't go any lower than the 4 seed. You're not going to go any higher with the other teams having 12, 13 wins. Maybe they give Tom Brady the week off, kind of like a bye week here. I see the Falcons winning, even if maybe they do start him. Maybe they start him for a little bit. The Bucs tend to kind of get in disarray at the beginning of the games. I like the Falcons in this one. I'll say low score. I'm going to go weird with it. I'm going to say 13-10. The Falcons win in a weird, wonky game. Brady comes out for maybe a couple series. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is for that, but I would be very, very smart if I were the Bucs in terms of Tom Brady and the decision there. But I think the Falcons can maybe pull this one out. Finish it off right hand, 7-10.
I like that one, Josh. Tyler Algier, looking decent for them. Nice little running back over there for the Falcons. She bringing up the Mitchburg too, holding me accountable to everything. I was shouting that a little earlier in the year. So that's on me. That's on me for the Mitchburg. Mitchburg didn't really work out, and Uh, she bringing up major. There's no major hate, major Tubby hate over here. It's a little weird to bring him out in week 17. I wish they brought out Major Tubby maybe in week 1. We could have gotten behind Major Tubby a little more. But my upset, it's a little more wishful too. I got the Jets upsetting the Dolphins. A little wishful thinking as well, as we have alluded to. Steelers fans need this one. Uh, I think the Jets are gonna have our back in this one. We've seen a little weird ones, especially last year with the Jags being the Colts. We've seen some weird games for the Steelers come in our favor, Josh. So I think we got another weird one in store for us. So I got the Jets over them. I really can't tell you. I mean, Dolphins are kind of just, the two injury. They are kind of just going down. The injuries are taking sort of a hold of this team, unfortunately. So I think Jets take advantage of that, and I think they pull out this win, sort of cap off not disappointing year for them, but I mean, definitely losing the Seahawks was a little tough one for them last week and getting so close. But I think they end the season on a high note for them and just try to follow it up. So I got the Jets. I got the Jets winning this one, Josh.
I like it. I think Skylar Thompson might be out there again. I don't know what's going on with Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think Tua is ready to go, so I could see it. Mike White too. Yeah, they played kind of in a hostile environment last week. I know Miami's kind of a tough place to play too, but I don't hate that one at all. I actually didn't when I saw you put that. I was like, no, that actually makes a lot of sense. I don't know their quarterback situation. I didn't even think of the fact that I think the Steelers need to win and they need the Jets to lose. And obviously the Pats to lose as well. I mean, the Jets to win, Pats to lose. So, yeah, I like that one there out of Ben. And, yeah, I went with my lock of the week, so the floor is yours, Ben.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Raiders stink, Josh. Jared Stidham looked decent. Listen, I was kind of surprised by that. But, hey, I mean, they helped out Devontae Adams, 30 points, so that was great. He was throwing the ball decently over there for Josh McDaniels, so that's kind of intriguing. But they did do Derek Carr a little dirty with that. I don't know. That benching was a little surprising. For a guy that's just given everything to this franchise, holds all the records. A little surprising to see that. So just kind of, so as soon as he left the team, it kind of sums it up right there. You're just like, yeah, something weird happened there. Him leaving the team, obviously he was upset, so that kind of confirmed it right there with that strange move. So I'm a little. Well, yeah, I wouldn't say it's out of the ordinary for the Raiders organization to make those strange roster moves right now. They're always kind of doing that stuff, and they're always kind of a mess roster-wise. So I think the Chiefs going to capitalize on that, just trying to secure up any seeding they need to. They're just going to roll over the Raiders. The Chiefs are looking dominant. Got a couple scares from the Broncos, but I mean, they're fighting for that life, the Broncos. So I think the Chiefs got this one easily. That's my lock of the week, Josh. Go Chiefs.
I like it, Ben. Patrick Mahomes in a dome. How can you never, ever go wrong? I just want to say one thing as well too. The Chargers are going to be either playing the Titans or the Jags. That is a very, very nice matchup if you're a Chargers fan. I like it a lot. My boy Justin Herbert's been getting way too much slack. So just want to throw that one out there. We're going to end it off with Ben as we always do. I just wanted to say as well, my thoughts, hopes, prayers are with Damar Hamlin and his family, and with the NFL community. I hope everything turns out to work out. I'm praying, I'm hoping it will. So I just want to end it off with that take.
Yeah, I just want to end it as well, Josh, with that one. Thoughts and prayers are with Damar Hamlin and his family, Bill's organization. Hoping just they can figure this out and just get him back to a healthy life and all of that. So just thoughts and prayers with him and the NFL community.